credit card debt in the US has exploded. We're talking about $1.2 trillion in total household debt. According to this Forbes article, and I quote, if you stacked that amount in dollar bills, it would actually reach over 80,000 miles into space, more than a third of the way to the moon. I guess that's one giant leap for mankind, but at the very least, that's absolutely a record. And yet nobody teaches us in school about how to actually manage credit cards, how interest rates really work, and how to make sure you stay out of debt, but actually get out of debt faster than just making minimum payments. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the first thing that I would do personally if I had credit card debt today, and it's honestly not what most people would think. Welcome to the Ascend Finance YouTube channel where yes, we help people go over their ways to get out of debt cheaper, easier, and faster. My name is Justin, and before we continue, just remember this video is just for informational purposes only. It's not legal or financial advice. So let me be real for just a second. Credit card companies love when you only pay minimums. And you may be asking why? Well, because the interest just piles up, right? On a $10,000 balance at 25% interest, if you could only pay the minimum, it may take you over 20 years to pay it off. Your debt would be old enough to have a high school degree and almost be drinking age in the United States. Or let me put it this way, your debt would be old enough to have its own credit cards and rack up its own debt. And you'll end up paying way more than you borrowed in interest alone. So that's why so many people feel stuck. Every month you make a payment, but your balance barely moves. It's kind of like that Greek myth. Now here's the key. The very first thing you need to do if you're in debt isn't necessarily throw extra money at it right away. It's to actually understand where you're at and what your options are. Because whether you're staying current, just making minimums, or already falling behind, that determines which may be the fastest way that you could get out of debt based on your situation. That's it. You're not guessing, you're not just crossing the fingers, right? You're literally mapping out what's possible for you. And in fact, we even built a calculator that'll do exactly that for you. It just takes a few minutes and it'll give you that information. So for example, let's look at a few scenarios to help you determine where you may be. So let's say scenario one, you're current on your payments, but you're only able to make your minimums. You might look at debt payoff strategies like that snowball method or avalanche, or even the Savvy method, which takes both avalanche and snowball together. Or you may consider refinancing with a personal loan to lower your interest rate, or even looking at a balance transfer card if you have decent credit, since some may offer 0% interest for a period of time, giving you more breathing room and the ability to pay more towards principal versus interest. And then let's say there's scenario two, where you're maybe starting to fall behind. And that's where maybe looking at a nonprofit option called debt management can help reduce the interest rates and kind of help you get a better handle on your monthly payments. It sometimes helps reduce the monthly a little bit, but the main relief you're getting from that is your payoff date. So now you're bringing your payoff date to be within 3 to 5 years versus 20 plus years, depending on your situation. Then there's scenario three. And this is where things may feel a bit more overwhelming because you're now way past due. So you're not already falling behind, you are behind. And debt settlement or bankruptcy at this point might be a helpful option, but again, it just depends on your income, expenses, your cash flow, all the above. So the point is, no option is obviously perfect. And there isn't necessarily just a one path that fits everyone's situation. So it really just depends on where you're at and what you can afford, and that can help us determine which step makes sense for you. Because most people end up spending years, honestly even decades, just making minimum payments before they actually realize, you know what, hey, I do have alternatives. And they just get comfortable with their debt, and then thousands and thousands of dollars are just going to the creditors. Actually, way more than thousands. If you look at wallabhub.com, the total number of Americans spent on credit card interest and fees was, I'm not kidding, a staggering $254.16 billion in 2024 alone. But if you just take time to look at your options, you might find a path that gets you out of debt in a fraction of the time and honestly save you thousands of dollars in interest. And so yes, that's why we built our free debt options calculator. You plug in your numbers, you tell us your situation, and then we will show you an estimated timeline for different options, the costs for different options, and all these different strategies so you can figure out what option may make the most sense for you. It's obviously anonymous. It can give you a clear picture of where to start. No, we do not require you to put your email or phone in there. If you want to speak with someone on our team, then we'll need your number, so we'll ask you for that, but you're not required to do that. We give you the option to see the results without even asking for email or phone. So coming back to the question, if I had credit card debt in 2025, the first thing I would do is very simple. I would honestly stop guessing and see my options, whether that's debt management, a balance transfer card, a consolidation loan, maybe even looking into bankruptcy or debt settlement if things are more serious. At the end of the day, all I'm trying to do is understand, okay, where I'm at. Can I keep making payments? Okay, yes, I can. Okay, great. Well, then let's look at debt payoff strategies and see how much more I can pay towards the debt. Oh, I can only pay minimums? Okay, well, maybe it makes sense to look at debt management and understand, can they include all my credit cards? Can they help with my loans? What would that monthly payment look like? Yada, 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 so on and so forth. I'm trying to just explore and compare my options. So don't let credit card companies keep you trapped into your debt for the next 20 years. Take the first step, see your options, and pick the path that makes you get out of debt cheaper, easier, and faster based on your situation. So thank you guys for watching. Be sure to drop a comment if you found this video helpful, or if you have any suggestions for me on future videos that I should make. Either way, hope you guys have a great day. Take care.